And we're going live, sports fans, although this shall not prove to be very interesting. I say that because, well, I'm hosting it, and I know that I'm just playing around. I am trying to, well, there's no try. I am figuring out a way to use a device that is not intended to be used for Google Hangouts. So, one way or the other, this is going to work. I assure you. I assure me. Let's see. Tell that it is not. The problem isn't coming from the side of the network, any of the computers, or the actual Hangout itself. All that is good to go. The only glitch is where it bottlenecks down into this device. Again, I know this device is not used to broadcast a Hangout. You can join one with it, but it is not intended to broadcast with it. That is not good. It's nada. So I want to be able to broadcast live on location with this. So anyway, that's what this is about. You shouldn't be watching this. I don't even think this went out to anyone, but if you are, glad to see you. Thanks for stopping by. So let's do this. Let's clear the device. Close all that. Hangouts. End. Okay, let's try it again. Let's be patient, shall we? On a side note, I do have to tell you, even though you're not listening, maybe this is the best time to tell you, I'm really not impressed with what I see going on the internet, in the world, with people. That's the main thing, with people. Aha! Looks like success. Give me that. Do it. Huh. Okay, let's do that. No. I am. Okay. Let's see if this works. In fact, I'm going to take you. Let's grab this glass of wine. Let's go for a walk, shall we? Good cheap wine. Nothing like it. Let's see. Put you on mute for a second. Okay, now you're going to be getting some wind noise because now we're outside looking at the moon. Pretty crescent moon. And as far as I can go in broadcasting live from a device that is not intended to be used on Google. So I win, Google. I win. But you gave it a good try, though. You got a good system. I say that in jest, obviously. We're just going to walk around. Let's see how far I can go with this. I know I'm feeding off my signal now. So far. I'm being able to start a broadcast on location from this device. What I'm seeing is it's not working. I still need someone to start the broadcast before you can go live local. And surely there's a way around that. And yes, I'll figure it out. Beautiful wind out here tonight, though. Let's go back in here and try something else. The idea behind all this is to be able to be out on the street interview some people live, that kind of thing. Use this as a broadcasting device. It's got a better mic, a better camera than even my laptop. That is not changing the fact. Let me stop this. I can hear myself repeating the echo. Okay, good. No one's watching. So I don't want you to watch. I want to learn. Now, I wonder. Hide from broadcast. Present to everyone. Profile. Eject. Now, I bet if I eject me, if I eject the primary account that I open the Hangout with, it's probably going to kick me off. But to test that, before I'm ready to shut this down, I will eject. Although what's going to be the difference? That's not going to help. It's not going to solve the problem now, is it, Chad? Anyway, as I'm walking around thinking out loud here, I was talking about how I'm feeling about what I'm seeing on the internet, in life, media, whatever you want to call it, everything that's happening in the world right now, I am not impressed with. In fact, I'm downright concerned with. Everyone that I interact with on a daily basis is to, in their own way, to their own degree. But I mean, how much further are we really going to let this go, folks? I mean, at the rate we're going now, at the constant decline of humanity, morality, intelligence, just the simple ability to think critically, at the rate of decline that we're currently on, where are we going to be in 10 years? What is going to be the average mentality of just the average person in 10 years? What will we know? Because we seem to be knowing less every day. And that's not only are we forgetting the facts and truths we've discovered over eons of humanity, we're just instantly discarding them and just throwing them out the window. Now we don't need that. Who needs that? And we're going off in these directions that boggle my mind. I mean, they literally do. If even 6 months ago, you would have told me that we would be right here where we're at now, I would not have thought that would have been possible. Yet here we are. And I try to project forward. Well, okay, I see the way it's going now. You look at the projections, you look at the patterns. Where are we going to be in 10 years? Are we going to know that Darth Vader is president of the United States? Are we going to know that Columbia is a state in Tennessee? What? How can this get any worse? I mean, I really don't know. But it is downright disturbing that the species, the humans, we're getting dumber by the day and definitely by the generation, to where I can't imagine what's going to be coming next. And sadly, there seems to be a lot of people in the world who are okay with this. In one way, they'll say, yeah, it's disturbing, this is a problem. They'll point out some things that they consider to be problems or inconvenient. But at the end of the day, we all keep going along with it. We all justify it. We come up with these clever excuses. You just got to let people be stupid. You just got to let people be dumb because, whatever you believe and stuff. I was writing some things and discussing some stuff earlier with people about beliefs. I've always intended to do a video or a talk on belief, because we're in a time where so many people think that belief is a good thing, that belief is the way to operate, and that somehow what you believe somehow affects reality around you. This is just like frogs in a boiling pot of water. The frog does not believe the water is getting hot. The frog does not believe he's about to be boiled to death. The frog thinks everything is just fine.
And this is the best example of why beliefs are irrelevant to what's actually happening. I could believe that Godzilla is outside my door right now. And I could believe that with all my heart and all my mind, but it would not make it so. Beliefs are completely irrelevant to what's happening. You could be inside of a building and you could believe that everything is just fine and blah blah blah, but the building could be on fire. And as long as you believed that the building was just fine, then you would not leave the building and you'd stay inside and you'd be burned alive. But believing that the building wasn't on fire would not change the fact that the building is on fire. You understand that? And I know I'm being a little facetious there, but I'm not, because people really are operating under this fallacy that as long as someone believes something, well, then it must be true, at least for them. That's not how reality works. And I'm sorry, folks, I really am. I wish reality did work according to whatever we believe. As long as you really believe it, then it would become so. Or even I would even go so far as to, as long as you believe it, then it becomes true for you. Maybe other people don't experience what you believe, but as long as you really believed it, then you would experience that as your reality. Unfortunately, folks, that's not the way shit works here. I'm sorry. I didn't design it this way. I didn't get any input in it. I'm in it, just like you are. But this idea that as long as you believe something, then it's true. And then, of course, it carries on into the next stage is that now, just because someone believes something, this notion that it should be respected as true because they believe it, and therefore it's true for them. Bullshit! Fucking bullshit. This is not reality. It's not the way things work. I used to be friends with a monk who, in all fairness, did teach me a few things over the course of no longer needed a teacher. And I started asking questions that this guy's not answering well. And to tell me, I'll give you an example. This is what the monk told me. Okay? The monk told me that our thoughts create everything. Every reality you experience is a result of your thoughts. This is not my theory. This is what the monks say. They also say that even to the point of if a woman is raped, then somewhere along her thought patterns and thought processes, maybe even over the course of her entire lifetime, she has somehow drawn this rapist into her life with her thoughts, because your thoughts are responsible for everything. They create everything. Your entire reality is completely dependent upon your thoughts. Folks, this is bullshit. Bullshit of a colossal magnitude. Bullshit that I can prove in every direction, any day of the week and twice on Sunday. You understand that? Here's what I told the monk. If what you're saying to me is true, you're telling me that your thoughts create your reality and that is the end all be all. That means no one else's thoughts can influence you. No one else's behavior could influence you unless you somehow accept it or draw this to you. Again, this is bullshit, and I can show you why. As I told the monk, if what you're saying is true, then that means you could stand there in front of me with your back to me, and I could stand behind you with a baseball bat, and at a time of my choosing, I could swing that bat and hit you in the head with everything I got. And if your theory's true, I would not be able to strike you because you don't know that the bat's coming. You do not accept this as a reality in your great godlike wannabe atmosphere, and somehow there should be some magical force that would prevent me from striking you with the bat. If your thoughts protect you and no thing can harm you unless you allow it to, well, then let's test it. You stand there and I'll grab the fucking bat and we'll see who's right. Because if my theory's right, I'm going to bash you in the skull and you're going to fall down on the ground. And that's probably going to be the end of you. But if you're right, well then we're missing the whole point of reality here. We're doing all this wrong. If these monks are right and our thoughts are really the first cause of every result and effect that we experience in our life, then we're missing something. If that's the reality and that's the way things actually function here in this world, then we're missing a lot, and we should discover that. Now, the monk, of course, would not take me up on that. Of course, his response was, "Oh, you're just being silly. You're just being silly." No, I'm not. You're telling me, you're giving me this premise that our thoughts are the first cause, and only what we accept becomes our reality. Nothing can enter our reality unless we draw it to us. Really, I do not think this is the case. But it's this kind of wishful thinking that's making every generation dumber. And it's getting worse. It's getting so fantastic and whimsical to the point where people really are just making up whatever beliefs they want. And because they believe it and that belief gives them some comfort, you know, they just operate as if these beliefs were true. And I cannot do that. Well, I know better than to do that. And so I'm really frustrated right now with what I see the world, the direction I see the world going in. That's what it amounts to. That's what it really amounts to. Is this is frustrating because I don't see that this is beneficial. So you can't tell people a bunch of stupid stuff that creates confusion, causes chaos. And if, especially when they believe it, and they're believing this nonsense makes them behave in ways that cause the problems. And I don't see any way out of it, to be honest with you. I really don't see any way out of it. People want to feel good. They want to think thoughts that make them feel like there's some of all the information to the contrary. Oh, hey guys, 4 viewers. You're not supposed to be listening to this. I'm just testing a device. I'm just rambling. But anyway, we're at that point now where a person can make up, literally fabricate any idea that they want. You can say the Smurfs live underground in the hollow earth, and on the internet, and not only will there be other people that will come to you and say, "Oh my God, I've always believed that. I've always thought that there were Smurfs in the earth and that Godzilla's about." Yeah, there will be people who will believe that already believe it, and they're just looking for others that want to believe it too. Here's the problem. Everyone on the entire planet could believe something, anything, pick it, At one time, everybody did believe the earth was flat. Guess what? They were every one of them were wrong. We could all believe that we're sailing the seas of cheese on a boat made out of whatever. It's not going to make it so. Just like the monk standing in front of me, he could believe with all his might that he's protected and that he's emanating some field of love, and no negative thing could enter his reality because he's just so fucking serene. And I got $1,000. Is there anyone, is there any thinking human who wants to take me up on this challenge? Because I really do. I will put $1,000 on the table that says, yes, I can hit you with a baseball bat against getting hit. Why? Well, because there's something called cause and effect. See, and that's how shit really works. It's cause and effect. And unfortunately, our thoughts are not first cause. They're not the only cause, okay? Our thoughts are first cause in the sense that, sure, in your own life, what you think and what you focus on and what you project usually comes to pass. Not to the degree I really believe and think that I could fly, and that's somehow magically going to allow me to do this. It sounds silly to people who are logical, because you're like, well, Yeah, obviously. My point is this: why are we living in a world right now where so many people are willing to believe things that are categorically untrue just because it makes them feel better? And is this not why we continually swallow the lie and never see the truth? Have we got to the point where what we is more important than what's true? Because that's where I think we're at. I think that what we believe, we value more than what is true. And this is why so many people, imagine you meet some guy on the street who believes, looking around, he believes there's a real entity called Godzilla. And he also believes the earth is flat and Godzilla's underneath of it holding it up. And if we don't give Godzilla enough money, Godzilla will set the earth down and we'll all die. And he believes this with all his heart and soul. He was trained since the day he was born to believe these things. And if you walked up to this guy on the street and he tells you his whole theory about the Godzilla holding the flat earth up, and he trying to educate him on the fact that he believes something that is demonstrably untrue, he will take it as an attack. This person's not going to thank you. Wow, thanks so much. I was believing some total bullshit that's absolutely not true and is verifiably untrue. Thank you so much for correcting my delusion. No, no, no. Once people have this belief in their head, that's it. Once you believe it, you make it true for you. It doesn't make it true for the world or reality or those around you. It just makes it true in your own mind, and that's it. And it's a further delusion. I don't have respect of delusions, including my own. I'm not a person that respects beliefs. I have beliefs of my own to what's happening around us. So I don't use them. I don't operate on beliefs. I could have some beliefs, like I believe blue's a better color than red. Anybody want to argue? Because that's what beliefs are, is just opinions. I believe manicotti tastes better than spaghetti. Okay, anybody want to argue? Because we could. I mean, you could argue. Oh no, I think spaghetti is. No, I like this. No, we could argue, but it's a waste of time. Reflections of your own thoughts. They mean nothing to anyone but you. And people get offended. Rather than thanking you for correcting their delusions, people get offended because they think their beliefs are true simply because they believe them. You see? And that is a problem for the world. See? This is why every religion can shovel that dogma down people's throats on a daily basis. That shit arms and just swallow it all. They love it. And if you come along and point out any fallacy in their belief that contradicts reality, this is upsetting to them. Their identity is combined with these beliefs, and it's a dangerous thing. Now, if we were living in a world where beliefs did have some effect on reality, uh, that would be a different story. It really would. Then it would matter what facts say or what evidence says, because we would be living in a world of magic that would somehow alter the fabric of reality just because you changed your mind. That's not how things work here. And the fact that there's seemingly so many people who don't seem to understand this, that is what's disturbing to me. And I don't see this getting better. I only see it getting exponentially worse, especially when you point out people are just so ready to believe, and they're selling these ideas. Any proof, and you can't get a receipt for it either. It's just insane, and I know the world's always been insane. I know this is nothing new. I get it. But what is new is we're reaching an exponential critical mass here, where when you put everybody in the world connected to one another, where we can communicate and exchange ideas freely, this is a great thing. This is an amazing thing, by the way. The greater the communication between cells in an organism, the healthier that organism is. In the world mind, every thinker, every critical thinker who is participating in the discussion with the world mind is contributing those forms of communication. And the greater we can communicate with each other, especially in real time, such as the internet provides us, then the healthier we can become as far as understanding goes. However, if you take all these people, same source, and with that same source, there's nothing but confusion and utter nonsense and wrong things, wrong information. That means wrong is not contrary to Chad's opinion. That's not what wrong is. Wrong is incorrect. Okay? There are things that are correct, there are things that are incorrect, regardless of what Chad believes or regardless of what anybody else believes. He's I don't have to say this out loud, but it's true. There are people who believe that as long as they believe something, this makes it so. And by extension, they also believe that their beliefs should be respected, even if they're untrue. But when you get all these people together who are believing nonsense and believing wrong things and then communicating wrong things to each other instead of better, this is the pattern. This is how it goes. And we're reaching a time now where we've never been so connected, which again could be a great thing. Technology and information, it's a dual-edged sword, just like wisdom. It can help, it can also harm. We're going to use our ability to communicate with each other. And we're either going to use that to benefit the whole and make the organism wiser, or we're going to pollute the well with bullshit and people are just going to swallow it all. You know, I also think that a lot of these operations we're seeing conducted on the internet are designed to sick of the internet. You ever thought about this? Think about it with me. What's the purpose of thousands and thousands and thousands of fake blank accounts puking stupid bullshit on the internet 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? What is the purpose of that? Other than the obvious, sure, it creates confusion. You could promote agendas and propaganda and all that stuff. Sure, that's all happening. But okay, they already. But then again, people like us aren't watching TV anymore, are we? And of course, they know that, so they bring their bullshit on the internet. But ultimately, I'm wondering that if the real goal of this stuff, of putting all this garbage online, is to make people like me look at it and go, you know what? There's no value here anymore. There's 5 minutes worth of entertainment. There's about 6 or 7 minutes worth of actual information, and the rest of it is, just like TV. This is the same reason I don't watch TV. I'm not interested in what the liars say. They've already proven themselves to be liars to the point where I don't need to hear the liar talk anymore. Even if the liar accidentally tells me some truth, I don't need to hear the liar talk anymore. I'm done. We're past that. Now I'm getting that way with the internet. I'm sorry, I cannot listen to people with a straight face stand there and tell me that the guy, sorry, I'm sorry. And if I'm just maybe not equipped to deal with this reality in a way where if we all just want to allow each other to believe whatever we want to believe and make up a good story, whatever makes us feel better and sleep good at night, fine. And everybody needs to tell me that, as in, that's the way we want to operate, and we don't want you to come along and ever correct any of our incorrect beliefs. and you just want a good story, well, then Stephen King was right. I should have wrote fiction. Stephen said that we, meaning fiction writers, use lies to tell truths. And I've never written fiction because I think there's enough bullshit in the world already. I've always appreciated the nonfiction, the truth, the honesty, whatever's true. By the way, if whatever's true is true, I do not have to agree with it to be true. But if it shows itself to be true, I accept it as a truth, even if it's something that I don't like. Many of the things I'm telling you right now, I don't like this. I don't like that this is the case. I don't like that we're in this reality. I don't like much about any of this, come to think of it. But I'm also willing to recognize the condition and not superimpose it with some airy-fairy beliefs that, oh, as long as we believe everything will be okay, then it really will be. Bullshit. That's just not how things work. And again, if you'd like to argue, I got that $1,000 I'll put on the table. You let me grab the bat, and we'll just find out which reality is in play here. We can just think, well, whatever nonsense we want, and reality magically conforms around us, or there's something called cause and effect, over which we have no control, by the way. See, because cause and effect, I mean, if there's an asteroid coming at us right now and it's going to hit in the next 15 minutes, we could think whatever we want. We could pray, we could think good thoughts, you could cry to Jesus or pray to Muhammad or Allah or whatever. You do whatever you want. Of the impact that you're about to see shortly. Now is it? But yet there are people who tell me that, well, maybe, Chad, maybe if we all believe it and we all think that's fine. Well, I disagree. And I disagree because that's not been the way reality has worked since the beginning up till now. It's just not how it works. I wish it was. Because if we were truly living in that dream world where you could just make up whatever you want and it would magically become true, I would subscribe to that reality. I would like that. I've always wanted to be able to fly, without a plane or without any, I just want living in that fantasy dream world that most every religion and dogma and philosophy takes people into. Again, if it was true, I'd love it. I'd sign me up. I'll subscribe. At all. And more I see we are coming to a point where people just don't care what's true. I mean, you see how much our reality has been fabricated, from the events that we witness to them, all of it. Our entire reality has become fabricated, and we're moving to a point where just people just want to believe whatever they want, and I guess hope for the best. I guess the real tragedy of that for me is that I don't fit into this equation. I'm not here to tell you pretty stories. I'm not here to entertain you. I was only here to help. What I thought, sharing valid information with people, sharing what was true, and seeking what was true, by the way, because clearly not all of us know everything. None of us do. And we don't have the full picture. We don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. So we can't see the picture complete. And thus we don't always know what's true. And it's going to take everyone. Everyone is a piece of this puzzle. Your mind is the piece to the puzzle. You're not coming to the table and able to lay your piece down and share it with others honestly. If you're all here about some bullshit, you just want to make up whatever nonsense, you pretty little colors you want to be on your piece, well, then you serve the puzzle you're not helping. You understand? You're not helping. It's not helping. What does help is when people are honest and genuine and are willing to share the visions they're seeing. DSL connection of the universe. And we're downloading these insights. This shit's coming in through all of us, and we all only catch glimpses of it. You know, it's an infinite puzzle with infinite pieces, and we're all the pieces. But we only get our piece, we only get our glimpse. We're limited in our vision and our understanding by the piece we are. And the best thing we can do for ourselves and the whole is to be our piece. You know what game theory is? Go look it up. John Nash. It's mutually versus individual competition. That's where we're at. But the individual competition we're fighting for, we, the bigger picture, that we're fighting for is for this belief versus that belief. Well, I believe that. No, I believe that. No, this is true. I don't think that's true. That's all bullshit. What we believe is irrelevant to what's actually happening. We need facts and understanding. And we also need people who are willing to come to the table and say, hey, this is what I see. Not just around me, not just this is what I see. Here's my insight. Here's my understanding, my thinking on whatever topic, whatever scenario, whatever. That's what we need. To me, that would serve all of us better than this fight and struggle over which piece is correct. It's odd because if you're looking at a puzzle, and this is a huge puzzle, obviously, some of the picture has the land on it. Some of the picture has the ocean on it. If you, being a piece of this puzzle, and you're, then it's easy to assume that the puzzle must be of the sky. Because after all, that's what you are, that's what you see, it's what you know. Boom, I got the piece, it's right there, I'm looking at it. Clearly the puzzle is of the sky. Problem is, this other guy over here is a picture of the ground, or a tree, or ocean, something else. And that's his piece, see? And he knows for a fact that the picture must be of the ground. There you can see it, done deal. Instead of putting these pieces together and then stepping back and saying, what is this picture? Oh, well, we got some pieces of the ground, we got some sky, we got water. Oh, okay, I'm getting the picture complete now. I'm understanding what I'm looking at. Instead of doing that, because that's not what we're doing right now. What we're doing is, I've got this piece, I think this piece is correct. This other person saying, no, I've got this piece, I think this piece is correct. And we're going to fight over who's got the right piece. No, and that's what we're doing. Well, here's the problem with it, really. Instead of just people believing that only their piece must make up the picture complete in the puzzle, now we've got people just making up bullshit, pretending they're putting pieces to a puzzle. They're putting pieces of a puzzle, of another puzzle, onto this one that do not fit anywhere. They do not fit in. Nothing of those pieces matter whatsoever. And worse yet, the people that are throwing these thousands and thousands of junk pieces onto the table are creating confusion intentionally. They know the pieces they're puking on the table have absolutely nothing to do with the puzzle. They know this. This is the psychological operation of pushing all this nonsense out onto people. So no one, no matter how smart you are or what your perspective is, table to ever see the picture complete. Because even if all the correct pieces were on the table, well, there's an infinite number of pieces that don't even fit the puzzle that some fucking idiot threw on there because he thought it was fun. That's where we're at. And I'm sorry, but I'm just not impressed with this. I don't see how this is helping. That's why I came to the internet originally, was to pieces I have on the table, as well as collect the pieces from genuine people who are willing to share theirs as well. But I see less and less of that. I see less genuine, real people on the internet and thousands of fake fucks puking stupid bullshit behind fake blank accounts. I'm only going to go through this once and I'm going to drop this off because, again, this is just testing. I'm just testing this device. Here's the thing. And start noticing the pattern of these fake accounts. That thousands and thousands and thousands of always blank channels with no content, no name, no face, just blank. If you can't notice that these are the ones that are throwing these pieces of the puzzle on the table that don't fit, if you can't understand that they're the ones puking drama and everything else, if you can't see that that's where it's coming from, I can't point it out anymore. Understand? Because it went from hundreds and hundreds of accounts doing it to now thousands and thousands and thousands. And I can't point it out. I can point out the patterns. It's better if you just recognize the pattern because the account doesn't matter. That account that's doing it, none of them do. But the pattern, they all do the same things. I'm sorry, but I am just not naive enough to think this is by accident. I do not think that there just happens to be this many people in the world who spend this much time of their lives generating fake accounts so they can run their mouth on the internet. No, I'm sorry. Especially when I see how all of these accounts just happen to be always puking the same bullshit, always playing single time. I got news for you. Those of you out there that are, well, what's the word? Oh yeah, fucking stupid. Those of you out there who are fucking stupid and it's just funny to you to cause chaos and confusion and hide behind your little blank account so you can run that mouth, you are not only not helping, but you are the fucking problem. Because while you're stupid enough to think that it's funny to create this confusion and chaos, even if you're not on the obfuscate and create confusion for the masses, you're doing a hell of a job for free, baby. Doing a hell of a job for free, merely because you think it's funny. You're worse than the idiots that do it for a living. That's about all I have to say about that.